For all of you who listen to Mac East Second Floor Studios presents Submersion and own an Android device, do me a favor. Go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcasts I want to listen to, select them as favorites, and have them all just a click away. Make sure to set Mac East Second Floor Studios as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices. Let's see. What are we on? Episode 34
I actually don't even know. Yeah, so that's what
it's 34.
Yep.
All right.
Episode 34.
Oh, you stole my thunder, you son of a gun.
Is that going to be real? Woo!
Let's roll with it. Let's just roll with it.
We have to.
All right. And we're back. Brom's back. That's my favorite thing about this. You've been absent for a couple weeks now.
Yes, but he knew he could not miss the final week of
Japanese Movie Month.
I'm not sad to see that go.
Yes. But Japanese Movie Month, week 5, because some months have 5 weeks. Most of ours do.
The months we make up, apparently.
Yeah, they have to.
All over the place. But,
well,
yeah.
We go off a different calendar than the rest of the world.
I feel like we really spread our wings on this one. We've got a lot of different stuff, but I'm gonna be pretty happy to return to a set of more traditional submarine films, as you think.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I was trying to be delicate with it.
But yeah.
We got some classics coming up.
I'm just looking forward to watching a good movie again.
Yeah, well...
I feel like it's been like 4
depends
months.
on your tastes.
Come on, dude. Latitude Zero. Legit.
It has been a while since we really buckled down and did like a classic one. So,
that's true.
Next bunch of weeks are going to be
We know what you listeners want. Actually, we don't.
Yeah.
We just kind of make it up as we go.
For the love of God, we have an email address you can send it to. We never say it, but you can definitely do it.
Mac East Second Floor Studios @gmail.com.
Send us comments, questions. Make fun of us. We don't care. Whatever. Send us something.
We care.
I also want to make a quick correction.
Thin skin.
So last week we aired a submersible pod, because I was away and couldn't record. And you guys are so nice, and you're like, he's the star, and like that's why he gets paid the big bucks, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you waited for me, but like I aired submersible one from a while ago, and during that one I forgot. I had said that Andre Bronger, who's a star of Last Resort,
yes,
was in The Wire. He's not.
Oh,
you lied.
I lied. He's in the precursor to The Wire by the same guy, David Simon. He was in Homicide. He was a police officer in that.
I can't believe you, man.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, I was horrified when Patrick was like, he was in Homicide, not The Wire. I was like, shit.
But at least you were forthcoming.
Right. And I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think I was like confusing him for another, black person. Because like, I'm notably not a racist. I'm like the not racist person on this whole podcast situation. And I just wanted to make sure that it was clear.
He seems like a guy that would be on The Wire. I'll just say that.
I don't even know this show.
It's pretty good. Dive. Oh, wait. See, I really screwed it up there. Dive. See, you were even ready with the sound effects this time.
Kind of. I mean, I wasn't there. That was getting out of hand really quick. And
yeah, we went all over the place.
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Second Floor Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, Alex the Mustard Man, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Brain, Kyle El Capitan, and Zach the Backbone present Submersion.
Brom, what did we watch this week? Or what did some of us watch this week?
Some of us watched, and some of us slept through Blue Submarine No. 6, Japanese anime.
The classic. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it.
Everybody was raised on Blue Sub No. 6.
Yes, this is 4-episode, what do they call them? OVAs, is that right? Original video, animated video? OVAs, I think. Video animation.
OAVs.
Sounds legit to me.
Something like that. And so it was created for release to video in a 4-episode.
It's from 1998.
Yep.
And it's wild.
It's real crazy. We thought the last one was crazy. Super Dragon.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is even crazier.
Right.
I think this is really, when I was watching, I was like, okay, this is what anime is. This is anime. I get it now. This is what it is.
Yeah, because we watched 2 of these in a row, and I remember you even asked about the first one.
Yeah.
You said, Alex, is all anime this crazy? I think we know now. Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is this crazy.
And it's even crazier because the previous one, Super Dragon, I felt like there was a lot of like war stuff that was pretty grounded in reality. At least.
There was.
Like battleships and stuff like that. Whatever.
Not-
Undersea battleships and stuff.
Not in Blue Sub number 6.
No, it is fucking nuts.
We're gonna need like 6 hours. To
we set the timer for 6 hours, and
Yep.
then we're gonna go.
Okay.
Do you have any more? Do you have any more like facts about this one before we
really
jump into
don't.
it? Okay, so we open up and everything's looking like shit because we see a submarine for a second. It dives. It's all kinds of 3D animation. Whatever, not important. But we see it's basically post-apocalyptic. The town that we're looking at, which is some part of Japan, I think, is not basically underwater, and there's a small piece of area or small piece of the city that is still above water.
Right.
We see a couple crewmen from Blue Sub number 6, or Submarine Blue number 6, on land trying to recruit someone that is known to be like the best. He's like the
a
best
total
submariner.
badass.
Yeah, but now he operates as an independent submariner after some tragedy in his life, which we'll find about later.
There's not a whole hell of a lot of market for independent submariners.
Not now, but in this post-apocalyptic future, there is, because he's like a scavenger. He like
that's true.
scavenges all because like all these cities are underwater and stuff like that. So
They're living in our paradise.
it's the future for you, Kyle. That's what I think.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So they're going to try to recruit this independent submariner, Hayami, from his base. And they're recruiting him to help counterattack this guy named Zorndyke, who's a rogue scientist that is considered the killer of humanity. He basically melted the ice caps and drowned humanity. I mean, it's not, you'd think, okay, well, maybe it's nuanced. It's not. He like killed 1 billion people and he's pretty ready to admit it.
Oh, he doesn't care.
No, he's like straight up, I killed like 10 billion people or something.
And I'm not afraid to admit it.
Yeah. So
what are you going to do to me?
Yeah. I'm already here. And they're like, where? It's like, you want to know? And so they kind of imply Hayami's like on drugs and stuff. He's kind of living in the shithole, but he's like, no, I'm not doing this. I got a job tomorrow in Beirut or Brunei or something like that. And like, I'm not into the idea of just like joining back up with this thing that I used to do. Like,
Did you notice the sexual reference he gave here?
what do you say?
So one of the people trying to recruit him was a female.
Yes.
And he says, why don't you stay here with me and we can save something?
Save something? That's what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not really.
What does that even mean?
Makes you wonder.
I don't even know.
Save the human population.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Yeah.
It's not really going to help with
Repopulate the
Zorndyke's
sunken
pretty
city.
So
Who
anyways,
wouldn't want to live there?
So anyways, they're like, fuck this. And Kino and her companion, they leave. And Harami's there just like feeding dogs. And anyways, they're going to head back
You brought that into it.
Right. So they're heading their way back to Blue number 6, but then there's a big attack that starts to happen.
Oh, yeah. Stuff is getting blown up left and right.
And there's these kind of big spider robot-y things.
I called them spider crab robots.
Great. Okay, good.
Because
Spider
they
crab
came out of
robots.
the ocean.
That's true. That's much more accurate. Thank you. So there's spider crab robots.
They even had big pinchers.
They did. And they're like shooting laser beams at everyone. Kino and the other guy with her kind of grab this old lady and they're trying to get away, and it's like, okay, they're gonna die. They're like kind of trapped by the spider crab robot.
It was funny because they throw her on somebody's back and she's piggybacking while they're running away, getting blasted by this spider laser crab.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden Harami comes by and destroys that robot and saves them and brings them back to the submarine
With just an Uzi.
Yes. Yep. Shooting
Other
from
people
his,
have
like,
these
thing. Yeah.
monstrous guns on top of battleships and they can't take them down. Hayami's got some kind of meth-powered gun.
That's why he's the best.
That's right.
Yeah. And so they jump on his little boat, his scavenger boat, and he takes them back to the submarine.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get a little brief shot of the bad guy here. His name is Verg. He is a monster, literally a monster human being, mixed together kind of.
Yes.
He's got this like weird gauntlet thing on his neck that allows him to speak in English or whatever. And he's like a crazy person, and he's got a total dad bod too, and like it's just weird.
It is really weird.
Yeah.
But also about Well, for some time, the people on the Blue Sub number 6 have been referring to a phantom ship.
Yeah, it's a ghost ship.
That's what they're hunting.
The ghost ship with the Mo ship, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you call that?
The ghost ship with the Mo ship?
Yeah, let's get some booty joke. Oh, it was a ghost butt.
Oh, yeah, ghost butt. That was a phantom bottom.
Oh, okay.
The ghost
sorry.
butt. I cracked myself up just thinking about it again. That was a good joke. So anyways, Hayami and Kino, they're going to attack Blue Sub number 6 or Submarine Blue number 6. It's so hard to remember what they actually refer to this. Blue number 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hayami and Kino go out in like the little ship.
They call it a turtle.
So they go out in the turtle and they're owning these spider crab robots.
Oh, lighting them up left and right.
And so this one kind of climbs up on top of him and he shoots it away and it gets blasted onto land. And it's kind of just like a little pod is left. And Harami leaves the little ship and goes up and opens it up. And out pops with this like goo, like a fish lady.
Mermaid.
Yeah.
A siren.
Sure.
It's a siren.
Topless.
Yeah, it's like a man. Well, it was made by Zorndyke, but like a half woman, half fish.
But she has like the ears of a fox.
Yeah, and so he picks her up and puts her back in the water to kind of help her and save her.
But she bites him.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be something.
I thought it was going to turn into something, right?
Right?
Like mutant or disease.
It should have. They even showed it later. He's sitting there looking at his bite mark.
I think
it doesn't ever come into play again, guys.
I think he was probably looking at it and being like, "It's so human."
You think that's what it was?
I think that's what it was.
Oh.
That the bite mark, he's looking at it being like, it could be a human bite mark. Like, we aren't so different. It's not like it was fangs that like ripped apart my flesh. It's just like a bite. Just like anything.
Here's my head, and it went way over it.
Yeah. Well, so anyways.
It had nipples.
Right, no, yeah, for
did.
sure, yes.
That was
100%.
the most human thing about it. Or those.
I would agree. So anyways, Blue number 6 starts to battle a whale ship. It's not even, it's like literally
it is a whale with a ship built into it.
It's
I don't know how to describe it other than that.
Yeah, like we talk about fish woman. That's a woman mixed with a fish. This is a whale mixed with a submarine.
Yes.
It's a submarine with eyes.
It's the Phantom ship.
Yeah, it's not the Phantom ship.
It's not?
No. Those are maracas or whatever. Maracas or whatever. Marascas.
Oh, no.
So those
Musicas.
Musicas, yeah. Musicas are the whales.
Right.
The ghost ship is what Verg is on. There's only one of them.
Yeah, and that's the whale ship, right?
No, get out of here. That's just a ship. It's a ghost ship.
All right, whatever.
So anyways, the whale ship does battle with Blue number 6, and Blue number 6 is able to destroy it. And at the end of the episode, this is the end of the first episode, and essentially Verg, the bad guy, this wolf monster, is like, nailed it, got him exactly where we want him. Which is weird, because they just destroyed the Musica.
Yes.
And that was about it. So we don't come to find out exactly what he means until the next episode. So that was episode 1.
Yeah.
We open all these episodes open a little bit of a recap and kind of continue on where they're going. And so the ghost ship with the Mo ship goes up and attacks the city at this point because they're like, okay, this is how we're gonna totally have this like intricate plan. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
So they go up and attack the city, and Blue number 6 wants to do something about it. But another submarine kind of comes along and goes, this is our territory. Like, you go along, you got bigger fish to fry. Like, we're here to protect the city. And Blue number 6 is like, well, we're also like a badass though. It's kind of strange. Mm-hmm. So they're going out and he's like kind of fucking up a bunch of different stuff, Blue number 6. And the other submarine gets destroyed immediately. Just like
after Blue number 6 says, okay, we'll leave the area, you got it handled. Boom, they're done.
Yes. And we do see a small indication that like the ghost ship shoots off a little thing with some green stuff on it.
Yeah,
and it goes right by Blue number 6 without them really knowing, and it's got some trackers on it. So that was like the main plan is, okay, we're going to attack the city. Blue number 6 is going to be told to leave because they're more important, but we're going to put a tracker on them they don't know about, and we're going to follow them to the base. And that's like the grand plan is to destroy this hidden base of the remaining humans on Earth.
Yes, but it's all underwater. The base.
Oh, yeah, yes. So that's why they can't find him. We see it on a little map even. It's like Blue Dome. That's like the one where they're supposed to be going.
Yep. You think they could find him. These monster creatures have nothing else to do than swim around.
So. Yeah. So Verg is excited. This bad guy is excited to tell his papa, Zorndyke, about what's going on. And Zorndyke is kind of just like, be safe. Don't hurt yourself. I want you safe. And it's like, okay, well, that's not helpful. And Verg is also like super creepy at that point. He's like with like the fish lady. He's like, "You were touched by a human, weren't you?"
And then
like,
he starts licking her ears.
straight up, like really not even licking, like totally sucking on those ears.
It was odd.
It was great. What? It was awesome. What?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he sexually assaults some fish ladies. And then, so Blue number 6 goes all the way to Blue Dome, and they dock in there, and we kind of see a whole bunch of different submarines at this point. There's like, that's a submarine from India, that's a submarine from France, that's a submarine from whatever. We're all here in Blue Dome, safe forever, because no one knows what this is. Not knowing that they had just like allowed the ghost ship of the Mo ship to track them.
Did you notice where the base, because this is a new base, they lost one 2 years ago. You notice where that one was?
No, where was that?
Antarctica.
Oh, that might come to play a little bit later.
What is going
Japan
on?
fucking loves Antarctica.
I've never, I mean, I guess The Thing is from Antarctica.
White Out, that movie White Out.
But, I mean, what are the odds? Out of 5 we've watched, 3?
Is it 3 or is it 4? It's 3.
3.
Yeah, 3 of them. Yeah.
Crazy.
My God.
What are we doing wrong here in America? We need to start making movies about Antarctica.
It does seem like there's like just a weird obsession with it.
Maybe because it's mysterious.
I guess, yeah, because no one knows much about it. Anyways, that was great. What was that?
Just spilt my beer. No big deal.
No big deal.
But anyway, part of the big plan that Zorndyke is concocting is he wants to remove Earth's magnetic field.
Right. So we get a big exposition scene here because they kind of go through their plan of like what they're going to do. They're essentially going to go nuke Zorndyke at his like secret base if they know where it is.
Did you notice something weird here though?
Pincer move or whatever, go from both sides, kind of trap them in there or whatever.
There's something really weird. They were showing the cities that were going to have the most devastation or something along those lines, and they showed New York.
Yeah, great.
Tokyo.
Got it. Solid. Yeah.
And West Pakistan.
Huh.
I watched it and even rewound it. I thought, what?
Well,
Why just West Pakistan?
This is future. You don't know what's going to go on.
That's true. Could be the place to be.
Yeah. It's going to.
UAE might be underwater.
Probably is.
And everybody's going West Pakistan.
They're like, I got to get in those Himalayas. They're kind of near there. So anyways, yeah, so they go through this whole thing. Basically, Zorndyke is looking to wipe out the rest of humanity by creating a polar shift, which is, I don't know if you know much about polar shifts, but they do happen periodically in history, not human history, but history, geological history. So like, it's kind of ridiculous. It's happened before. It happens periodically. There's been ones that have shifted for like 600 years and then shifted back real quick. Yeah. Like magnetic shifts don't really destroy much. No, they're not going to destroy the Earth. Although there's been a lot of studies on whether they're linked to extinction, so they're like dangerous for humanity. But humanity, honestly, being so advanced, humanity would survive a polar shift. I'm pretty sure. And they kind of explain like what the whole thing is. Oh, it's going to dissipate our magnetic field and allow the land to run free. I'm like, what?
And did you notice what else he wanted to do?
And remove the Van Allen belt, which we've seen before.
Yeah.
But that is known for sure not to be a problem. Removing the Van Allen radiation belt is not a problem for me.
I didn't even know it existed until this podcast.
Yeah, and then but like this is 1999. They already knew that it was not a problem to remove.
Right, this wasn't brand new.
No, this is weird. I was just like, still? Like this is like 30 years later after they had made a movie about getting rid of it before they actually knew, oh wait, no, that's not really going to actually.
We need to blow it up.
Actually, I guess that's what they were doing. They were blowing it out, being like, it's no big deal. Even then they knew it wasn't that big of a deal to get rid of it. So anyways,
the monsters show up to the base because they've got the trackers on them.
Yeah. So
and they start shooting everything up, and the monster, for whatever reason, screams while they're like bearing down on the base. He says, "The flags! Don't forget the flags!"
Oh, really?
And then
I don't remember this.
And then you just see flags on the monster sub.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Because it's just, why? Why is it in there? We don't need that.
To show he's crazy, I guess. I don't know.
The flags, put them up.
So they also, as they're preparing to leave, they see like a psychic sensory person, and they get an idea of like how this plan is all going to work. There's this guy that Hayami, what is his name? Hayami?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Used to know back when he was in the army or whatever, who had become a mutant, basically. He's like a monster. He's like in this little pod, and they're going to be using him to track because he knows where the base is. He was turned into a mutant but after going to the base, after going to Zorndykes or whatever.
Could he have been bit?
Maybe. That's what
That would have been
one thing.
Pretty good thing.
Oh, Jesus. And so anyways, there's like this little psychic girl, and she kind of helps them with stuff, and there's like this mutant now in like a pod, and it's going to go on the submarine. It's fucking nuts, guys.
It
like,
is.
It is crazy.
There was no explanation for the little psychic girl.
No.
And
She just sits in a little room telling them where things are and how people are feeling.
they never, and she's barely in it.
And everything's like colors. Yeah, really barely in it. This is like she shows up in episode 2 for the first time, and then you see her just like a brief moments every once in a while. She's like, and their singing is orange, and this singing is black, and it's like, oh, okay,
What does that mean?
sure.
Did you guys watch the end credits on any of the episodes at all?
No, I did not. Why?
There's a song at the end that alludes to the orange light. It was weird. If you guys didn't watch it, you wouldn't have noticed it. But the end,
All the music
song,
was pretty weird.
Yeah, the song was like a jazz, like a smooth jazz, and the
Yeah,
lyric,
big
the
band jazz.
the song started like, I want to touch you deeper and deeper into you. I want to vanish into your foam. I want to vanish into your orange light.
Oh yeah, no, I wrote this. I wrote that song.
You did?
Yeah, those lyrics are about my life.
Okay. Well,
It's autobiographical.
congrats on making it onto such a classic anime.
Yeah, I was only, probably 12 years old when I wrote that one. Ugh. Just vanishing into my sea foam.
Prodigy. You just like cracking it up. Vanish into my foam.
Great.
Ugh. Parents walk by. Jamie,
Jesus.
cut that shit out.
He's a genius, but my God, what have we wrought? So anyways, the submarine number 6 is going off. Hayami's like, I'm getting into this like my own little pod.
The little turtle.
Yeah, and he goes out to kind of try to defend them. He gets knocked down pretty quickly. He kind of gets like,
Yeah.
he gets like blinded for a second, and then he like gets
They
knocked
just
out.
shoot him down.
And he ends up in a little escape pod, and he's in like this rough ocean. And the Mushio, what they call them Mutios, the little fish lady, is there, like kind of looking at him all sexy. He's like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yo, you want to go over to that floating piece of wreckage over there?
I know this is probably like your friends and family who died in that wreckage, but you want to like bone on that wreckage? And he's like, yes.
Of course I do, fish lady.
So anyways, that's the end of episode 2. So
Yes.
we open up, and we have this really crazy scene to open up the third one, where he's kind of floating around in the ocean and starts to drown, and he's remembering back in his life to when him and that guy who's now a mutant in that pod were like in the army, and he's like, don't you want to find out what Zorndyke is all about? And Hayami's like, I never really thought about it. And then he's like, come on, it must be interesting to notice, like, I know where to go. And they go in the little turtle, and they're like going down this like canyon or whatever, and trying to find it. And then eventually they find the ghost ship with the Mo ship and get shot down. And they're at the bottom of the ocean. And the guy's like, you got to get the fuck out of here. And Hayami's like, I'm not going to leave you. And then he's like,
totally
you get the
leaves
fuck out of here. And he pulls the thing and forces him to go up to the top. He pulls the escape pod
Yep.
for him. And he ends up going up to the top and never sees the guy again. It's the tragic thing that made it so he never could be a submariner again. And he's just like really scarred by it. And this is all happening while the fish lady, Mutio, is like putting him in like an embryonic state in the ocean and saving his life.
Right.
And then he wakes up on the wreckage of the Blue Dome, and it's like super bright out, and all these Mutios come, and they're like, kill him, kill him, kill him. And there's also like these walrus animal people that also are there all of a sudden. I'm like, those are creepy as fuck.
Oh, the
And
ones with the
they look all
huge,
crazy. Yeah.
the huge breasts hanging down.
Yeah, the huge
That was
dick.
really odd.
I was like, oh yeah, they should be
He was also
captains.
chain smoking like crazy on top of that wreckage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they even made a point to show that he'd smoked, I don't know, a couple cartons of cigarettes worth of butts on the ground.
Yeah. So then we get a Musica comes over. One of the whale ships comes over and is like, "No, you're my friend. You're pretty cool, actually." And it's more or less Super Dragon plot, because they're like, it's actually all a test. Us living in harmony was a test. They created us to be like his like children, and now you have to learn to live with us because we both have our own like needs and wants, and we're children of the sea and you're children of the land. And it's like, whoa, okay.
It's got really philosophical. Really
Zorndyke
quick.
is a fucking nutball. What the hell?
Right.
And so he climbs into the whale.
I don't know where he's sitting in the whale.
Yeah, because it's a whale ship. So it's
It
not
is.
actually a whale. It's like hollow with a place for him to sit.
Yeah. He is the Jonah of Blue Sub number 6.
Let's not bring the Bible into this again.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Jonah the whale, famous fable. No, wait, that's not right. It's a real true story because it's from the Bible.
You can call it
Anyways.
a mythos. I won't get offended.
You won't get offended?
No.
Even though you wrote part of the Bible, right? Sorry, that was ridiculous. So anyways,
How drunk are you right
I don't
now?
know. So Blue number 6 feels like their last chance to get their Typhoon class. So the whole plan was to get this Typhoon submarine, which is filled with nukes, and bring it
Yes.
to Antarctica. And they are going to use all those nukes to destroy Zorndyke. And
Because Typhoons are the largest subs. You can just load that bad boy up with nukes.
yeah, they got a whole shitload. At the same time, Verg and all his monster people are also loading up nukes from like a different sub that they found in the ice or whatever.
Yes.
I don't know. And then they're making their way to the base, Zorndyke's base, using the mutant who knew how to get there, and like the psychic girl. They're like super close against this like really small canyon
Yes.
and kind of moving their way through. So
But at the same time, Hayami is on his way to that base with the Musika,
yeah,
trying to gain a deeper understanding of what Zorndyke wants
right.
or why he did this.
Yeah. And so Blue number 6 kind of freaks out because they're like, Musika's coming. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And they end up firing some torpedoes and blowing the shit out of the whale. And
definitely.
we see like blood splurts, like instead of just like
Yes.
water coming up, like blood like splurts out of the ocean as it gets just totally fucked up. And Hayami's like, no. And the Mutio's like, no. But then
the Musika says,
it's fine. This is life.
this is what I wanted.
This is how it goes. Like, what?
That's not what I want.
No, not at all. And then Kino shows up in one of the turtles and like picks up Hayami to like take him back to Blue number 6.
She had to repair that beforehand. You know what she used on it?
No, what was it?
A wrench.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, so they know it's a test, and basically Hayami's like, give me a shot. Give me a shot to do what needs to be done here. Like, I need to go to Zorndyke myself, and we're not blow it up. Just give me a chance. And the captain is kind of like, I'm going to pretend like you didn't just say that. Like, go do it. I'm just like not here. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm also not going to like help you.
And not going to endorse it.
Right. Yeah. And so Hayami goes off. He kind of knows the way to go. He's like bringing his like friend, his like mutant friend and his like little pod or whatever.
Yep.
With him. And so he knows kind of where to go. Although he kind of just releases him into the ocean, and then he like flies away and becomes like one of the big like walrus people. And that's the end of that one. So anyways, they start to get attacked. The Blue number 6 starts to get attacked. And it seems like the end of the battle. And Hayami kind of helps him for a second, but then skedaddles. Like, get
Sorry, I got to go.
Yeah. And the captain's like, final battle time. This is the start of the 4th episode. So it's the end of the 3rd, into the 4th. And the captain's like, finally, I know Hayami's like real cool and he's real young. And probably like when he was on his own little salvage ship, he like pulled out his fresh young dick and everyone was like, cool, we love Hayami. He's like a pop star. But like, I'm an old grizzled vet, and to forget about it, this dick scene experience. And everyone's like, I like it. I like it when it has like a little gray in his hair, like a little bit of silver fox going on.
Good Lord.
A little salt and pepper, really.
Oh, great.
Going on.
Really getting into that
Description?
Yeah.
It's
very
like anthropomorphic.
vivid.
It's like this, where it's the animal like mixed with a ship. My
Right.
penis is mixed with like an old man with a top hat and like a monocle and stuff. Not mine. I'm saying the penis I'm describing.
You said yours.
No, not mine though. It's like the one I'm describing.
Oh, okay.
Right?
You
Right,
need,
guys?
to, you need to see somebody about that.
Right? How drunk am I? Anyways. So Verg banishes Mutio for searching humans. That's more or less the last we see of her. She comes up at the very end of the film, but
Yeah, but it's pretty much it.
yeah, it's a real weird storyline for her. She was, whatever. He's a total psycho. And Hayami goes out there and he's like battling spider robots. He's kind of getting close to where Zorndyke is. And all of a sudden, he's with all the monsters, right? There's monsters everywhere, but like they're not attacking him.
Yes, they start kind of guiding him.
Yeah. So they're like, he's kind of in this, he's like outside of, he's within Zorndyke's like realm or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like this paradise or whatever.
Yeah, down in Antarctica. That's where they're at.
Yeah.
And it looks like some kind of tropical beach.
Right. So he's turned Antarctica into this like I guess you'd call it like a island of Dr. Moreau of sorts. It's like this.
That's immediately what I thought.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of island of Dr. Moreau people and him, and he's like this crazy person. He sits in his thing, and he's just like
Little hut.
he's like all sad and like super philosophical all the time. He's like, life, right? Humans, right? I became real cynical. He more or less describes a midlife crisis to like the extreme of like a psychopath who has ultimate power because he's the greatest scientist the world has ever seen. And he's like, the world will end anyways. I'm just speeding it up. So I'm making it so that the world will survive. Because the humans, it was inevitable. And it's like, fuck, whoa. It became really cynical.
But then
like,
why did you make these weird monsters? We just needed them?
we gave them I wanted to make what he described it like is he wanted to make like new good things, but then he got out of control and he realized they were just like anything else, any other living
hideous
things.
creatures.
No, they're not hideous. That's what I think. He's the whole point is that he created something, but he no longer controls it. It's life. It is life, and they both have their needs.
Life finds a way.
It does, yeah. And so, anyways,
we're there.
I do have to mention Blue Number 6 is like battling its little heart out. It's like hiding in ice shelves. It's like destroying whale ships. It's kind of like getting away from the ghost ship with the Mo ship, and the ghost ship is like really ready to destroy Blue Number 6, but ends up getting tricked. Because it like, what does it come from? Two sides of the ghost ship or something? Was that the pincher thing? Oh no, it destroyed something.
Weird.
I don't even know. There's something where they do a whole trick and the ghost ship totally blows up. And
Yes.
Verg you think he must be dead. You'd be wrong.
Ooh.
But spoiler alert, he's not dead. But we get this whole thing with Zorndyke, and I'm trying
Probably
to.
like a 40-minute
It's the,
exposition.
almost the entire episode. So yeah, he has like
him explaining what he did this for.
He had a midlife crisis. He was like this crazy genius. Because like the whole point of them going there is kind of why, right? That was the original question his friend wanted to know too. Why? Why Zorndyke? Why? Papa? Why? And asking why.
You don't have to sit across and look into his eyes when he does that stuff, Brom.
And he's like, basically, I was a super genius. My work was useless because humanity would eventually destroy the earth. I'm like, okay, so cynicism destroyed you, I guess. That's what it was. All the cities, like he decided to flood all the cities in order to reduce humanity's size to save Earth, but it didn't save it. And so it ended up being a test of sorts that he created all these things. And now the only way to save the Earth, because they have two different goals, right? Like his creatures primarily live in the ocean and want the ocean. So actually destruction of the land is like beneficial to them, except for Zorndyke's little island. Like they want to destroy the Earth, whereas humans want to get rid of the ocean. But like they then have to come to some kind of compromise to make it so they can live together. So you have to come into harmony with his creatures, his beautiful, beautiful creatures, including this weird tree monster that he like created, who's just like, I'm like, that seems terrifying. And so in the end, Zorndyke is like, kill me, I don't care. I have a robot heart.
That's right. And it is somehow synced up to the core of the planet.
Right. So I don't have a heart anymore, not a real heart at least. My heart's down in the planet. And if you nuke this place, my heart will stop beating and then it will switch the poles and destroy humanity. You know, the only way you can do it is by not nuking. So Jaime understands now. No one else does, including the viewers. No one understands at all. But he brings like a little, like a berry to Jaime, and he's like, understand? And I'm like, no, you just have a fucking berry in your hand. What does this mean?
Right.
What are you talking about? Is it rebirth? Is it death? I'm confused.
Nobody knows.
And then they end up convincing Blue Number 6 not to launch the nukes. They're basically like, we took him out. We took down Zorndyke, which is true. They did kill Zorndyke. And Zorndyke is dead. Mm-hmm. And so in the end, his heart will continue to not do the polar shift. I think that's the idea.
I'm not sure. I thought if he died...
I thought so too, but no, I don't think so.
It triggered the whole thing.
No, I think the idea was it didn't matter. He no longer mattered. His heart, by beating in the earth, prevented the polar shift. But if they nuked it, he would actually destroy it. That's the destruction of his heart.
Okay.
Yeah. So they end up killing him by shooting him in the head or whatever.
Right.
Because he's still like a bag of meat or whatever. Just shoot him in the head. He's dead.
Yeah.
And then they carrying the body, all his mutants, down to the ocean, and we see stumbling out of the ocean Verg. And no joke, like 8 minutes of Verg beating the shit out of Jaime. And Jaime being like, okay, we gotta talk. Zorndyke wanted me to talk. And it's like,
And that literally about 8 minutes.
and then Kino's trying to help out. Mutio's there, kind of like doing shit. And
eventually
then,
after, what's his name? Verg?
yeah, Verg, yeah.
Verg tires himself out by just beating the absolute shit out of Hayami.
He pulls off his like voice modulator or whatever.
Yep.
So he's like growling now. You can't talk.
And then he slumps into the ocean, and the little fish woman who used to love Hayami.
Bones Hayami. Wait, what? No, that's not right.
No.
That was just in my dreams. Sorry.
Yeah. She goes off with Verg.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. It's really a nuts thing that I watched. It sounds like it's 6 hours long. It's actually like 20-minute episodes.
They pack a lot in.
They did a lot of stuff. They really decided to bypass regular character development and things like that.
You don't need it.
In lieu of just pure plot.
And we only barely touched on it, but there is a lot of that big band jazz music.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have some of that in
really
my trivia
strange soundtrack for something like this.
Yeah, it's constant.
It is.
Yeah, so that was it.
Yeah.
So, Brom, how much did you watch of this?
Like 1.5 episodes, maybe.
Was my description illuminating?
It's about what I expected. I kind of caught the tail end of the Zerg character. And that's when it was like kind of getting interesting for me, because I thought the whole first episode was really boring. And I mean, they even got like right into the action and the plot, and I'm just like not sold on it.
Did you watch the same thing we did?
Yes. I mean, it was literally action. It wasn't interesting to me, though.
Which was I guess you couldn't say what your favorite episode was. You could.
I could.
You want me to go ahead and just sort of get into my sort of review of it?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I thought, I don't know if I've ever seen an anime like this that blended in like 3D animation with it. Is that something that you guys had ran into yet with Japanese Movie Month and the animes you've watched?
No.
Was there any of that in Super Attraction?
No, and I'll get into this a little bit with my trivia.
Okay.
And I've never seen that in the anime that I have watched. I'm not a big anime guy. We should have had Alex, for whatever reason, didn't want to watch this one, but Alex,
he didn't watch it at all. He really
Alex
resisted.
would sort of be our go-to on reviews, so you can take my review with a grain of salt, but I do not like really any anime. I've watched Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online. Probably the one I've enjoyed the most was the Castlevania Netflix original series. And obviously I watched a lot of anime on Toonami and the Shonen Jump anime growing up, like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all those. Never really got into anime. Not been my thing. It always seems overly dramatic. The plots are just so bizarre. I love the nugget, of the plots. Like this one's cool. Like the Island of Dr. Moreau is exactly what I thought as well, and you guys mentioned it. There's like something cool there, and it's very creative, and then it just ends up coming off just super weird, super dramatic. And I always seem to sexualize, young girls. Like those Little Mermaid creatures were like 9-year-old girls just naked flopping around on the beach. And I'm like, not into this. And ended up falling asleep on it. And when I woke up, it had played through all four episodes.
I got to disagree, because I'm pretty sure those Mutio, at one point they showed the driver's license, and clearly 18 years old.
Okay. Well,
obviously.
Thank God.
You just missed it. It was in the end of episode 2.
They were all from Idaho.
Yeah, it was weird, but they had to drive somewhere. They had to go on a road trip, and they pulled out their driver's license, and they were like, "Oh, I turned 18." And they're like, "Oh, me too." And they all showed their driver's license. It's like, okay, yep, 18. It was
real Britney Spears Crossroads style.
Love that movie.
Glad to hear that. I will bump it up a point for that, up to to a 2 out of 12.
Oh my God!
Wow,
that is low.
That is very low.
You know what, Kyle? I want you go second.
Okay,
go last.
All right. So the music was so weird to me at first.
Not the musicas, the whale ships.
The actual.
Those are completely normal to you.
Those were normal. The big band jazz stuff really, it added an element to the battles that made them kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Just because of the way it was going.
It was also a little repetitive. I felt like it really was in my head by the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the same kind of like
Yep.
sound and tone to it.
Yeah. And even it was funny, though, because some of the scenes they had some really, if stuff was heating up, they'd have a really nice like trumpet solo.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, here we go. It did kind of grow on me, which I don't know what that says about me.
Master of impressions over there.
Yes.
With his trumpet impression.
I feel like I've ran into the jazz on another anime or two that I have watched. I don't know which one it would have been. I feel like it's not too far in left field, but maybe it is. I don't know.
I've got very limited experience with anime. As you mentioned, Dragon Ball series. I also really enjoyed Afro Samurai, starring Samuel L. Jackson.
You're talking about Dragon Ball Evolution, the live action interpretation.
I don't even know what that is. But some of the characters I thought were a bit odd. The girl, a little psychic.
Yeah.
No idea what the hell she was, but you could have done without her. The actual plot did get fairly interesting. I like some of the things Zorndyke was bringing up.
I kind of agreed with him.
Yeah, he's a genius. No, but he was talking about
humanity, right?
He was talking about how the humans have not actually progressed that much because we still have these basic animal instincts. And I thought, oh, maybe there is something to this guy.
Genocide.
That is not where I was going with that.
So
anyways, score for this. It was much less confusing than Super Atragon.
They did more explanation, I think, in the end. Yeah.
I wish I could have understood Verg better. He had a bad voice, but
yeah, he did have a bad voice. It's kind of like
very
almost like
weird
an adolescent.
Dub. Yeah.
I'd go with a 6.25.
Wow. Okay. Good. And I'm going to come in hot. I actually thought Kyle was going to go a little lower than that because straight off the bat, I'm just going to say my score. I enjoyed this. I'm going to give it a 7.
Wow.
I think probably if I watched anime, I'd think of this a little bit less fondly, I guess. Cause like you look at the reviews and you look at how people kind of perceive this anime. And when it was first released, there was a lot of, it was highly regarded for a variety of reasons. And now they kind of look back and I agree. It lacks a lot of regular, just like normal character development because they pack so much into it that they have to do exposition, other than these key moments where they decide to do, usually at the beginning or at the end of an episode, where they do kind of these long, drawn out, very artistic things. So like him almost drowning in the ocean is done in this very, kind of artistic flashback / him floating through the water. And
yes.
It's very beautiful scenes. And advances the plot, doesn't necessarily give much about who that character is or what's really going on. No, it's literally just plot. It is literally, okay, here's some background. Here is, kind of who this mutant that you're gonna come to know in episode 3 is. Here is what he did before that's gonna come into play later in the episode. It's just pure, like plot. And you start to have these characters like Mutio, who is like a major character.
Right.
Who doesn't really, her storyline doesn't really come to any fruition. It's not like...
No, we don't really know anything about her.
Or anything at all. Yeah. She just kind of is. And they save each other, and it's part of the reason why Harami becomes like kind of the savior of this whole thing, and that's it. So it lacked some of the nuances maybe of a really well thought out series, and maybe it should have been longer or something. So
you would need it to be more than
like 8 episodes,
4 episodes at this length,
right?
Because they're about a half-hour piece.
And I think they were probably more focused on the visuals. But I enjoyed it, and it's one of my first forays. I even put in some requests at the library for a couple of the other like highly regarded, stuff, anime that's around, just to get more flavor of it, because I was at least piqued by this.
So, I would be, if just to encourage some listener response as well. If anybody wants to tell me, like, I'll give it one more shot, because I tried Attack on Titan, which is supposed to be like phenomenal, and I watched season 1 and 2, hated it.
Sorry, which one was this?
Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I know there's like Full Metal Alchemist, Ghost in the Shell, Cowboy Bebop. I know there's some like other critically acclaimed. So if anybody wants to chime in and tell me like This is strike 3, so let me let me know. pick the best of the bunch. I'll watch it. I'll give it one more chance. But I just cannot get into anime.
All right. Well, listeners, hit Brom up on Twitter.
Jamie too. It sounds like. Did you request any of those, Jamie?
I haven't yet. No, I did.
Which ones did you request?
I requested just a really old one of the kind of the original ones, the ones that like really started the whole
like Akira
anime stuff. No, this is like one from the '60s. Panda and the White Snake or something. White Snake and the Panda or something.
Wait, that's a thing?
Mm-hmm. Requested from the library, and actually it's pretty good because it's one of the first times that I'm going to be going through WorldCat, which is kind of like the world library system.
Yeah.
But it's at a library in Minnesota that just doesn't happen to be on our like full or our local like library system or whatever.
We support our local library.
Well, we're huge proponents of the local library system.
If you're ever looking for anything, they can get it for you.
And I can talk about it forever. We should actually probably just have a library podcast.
Yes, we should. At the library, because there's actually a recording booth at our library.
Because it's great.
Ooh.
Support your local library.
Yeah, we just got a new library in our hometown too. I haven't been to it yet, but maybe we got a recording studio there too that I don't know about.
You
probably. I go to the library every day. That's a little fun fact for you.
Every day?
Every single day, because I work near there.
Huh. I go there quite often. Actually, where I work
you're even closer.
Is connected.
Yeah, you're even closer. So anyways, I'm going to get into a little trivia. So, this was based on a 1967 manga of the same name, Blue Sub 006. It ran in serialized form in Weekly Shonen Sunday. It's the third biggest manga magazine behind Weekly Shonen Jump and Weekly Shonen Magazine. Right? So, I think it's actually, I should have said it's the biggest shonen manga magazine, maybe? Third biggest? I don't know. It's part of a genre called shonen, which is for 12 to 18-year-old boys.
Oh, that's why I don't like it.
Yeah. So then, it ran in 3 volumes. So the original story ran in 3 manga volumes.
Okay.
Then it was re-released in anticipation of this in between 1998 and 2000 in 5 volumes instead, under the name A06. And this was done in anticipation of OVA, which was released in, when was it, 1998 or 2000?
What, this?
Yeah, this was the one we watched.
98.
98, yeah. So anyways, they released it kind of as concurrently with these episodes, I guess. It also has 2 video game adaptations for the PlayStation and the Dreamcast.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. These were called Blue Sub Number 6 Antarctica and Blue Sub Number 6
Antarctica, of course.
Time and Tide, and served as a prequel and sequel for the movie. And they were only released in Japan, so sorry. Although I've gotten Japanese only games before for my different.
I always used to look for those
ones
when I was
like
younger.
Region locked.
Yeah. I don't know. I've gotten them for my DS with no problem.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like
I remember back in the day, you had to kind of hack your PlayStation a little bit because
I could see that with the discs. Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to get something. I can't remember if I was like 10 years old. I wanted something for my PlayStation.
You were 22 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right. 22.
I told my parents I wanted it, and it was on eBay. It was I think it was some kind of Dragon Ball Z game, but I wanted this one. It was $150 on eBay. Needless to say, I didn't get it. And I still remember it to this day.
I have a couple of Japanese games for my DS because I really, really loved this game called Elite Beat Agents. Yeah. And it had a couple of games in Japan that were, even harder than Elite Beat Agents. But
elite?
Even more elite, although I was one of the best players in the world. Don't worry about it.
What?
I could actually do levels of that with my eyes closed because I played it so much.
I remember that one. The only game I ever wanted that was region locked, and it fits the theme of the episode here, was Shonen Jump Superstars for Nintendo DS.
Nice, Shonen, there we go.
I never could have got my hands on it, but
all right.
I ended up emulating it.
So number 4, soundtrack was sold separately as 2 albums. And it's primarily by the band called The Thrill, which is a pop/big band type of band. It's hard to read. Big band. Okay, so number 5, the OVA was generally well received, mostly in regards to its mix of CGI and traditional animation.
Ooh, people
which at the
liked
time
it, huh?
was very innovative. And at this point is pretty standard. So that is a huge part of anime now, is a mix of 3D or the CGI plus animation. But I think it's just better now, so it's harder to tell which is which. Like This was obvious a lot of the time when they switched between the two. Retrospectively, it's been kind of criticized for its lack of character development and tendency to drop plot points. So they would kind of have a bunch of things going on and then kind of just forget about them and not worry about the fact that they never really close the circle.
Like the little psychic kid on the submarine?
Yeah, it's things like that, where it's like, when you think about it, and I've read that, and it probably colored how I viewed it. I might have even given it a 7.5 or something if I didn't read these kind of things, where it's like, oh yeah, no, they're right. Yeah, it's true. It really is like super plot heavy, really focused on visuals, but not as focused on its characters, which is probably not great, to its detriment.
But it's enjoyable to watch.
For sure.
Visually.
All right. So for my casting what ifs, I love films with numbers. I could have done either colors or numbers here, right? So blue or submarine blue, number 6, but I decided to do numbers. And I was just playing a little game with Kyle here.
I was nailing the colors.
In terms of colors, I was like, okay, name a movie with red in the title.
Hunt for Red October.
What about yellow?
Yellow Submarine.
What about gray?
Gray Lady Down.
What about black?
Black Sea.
Do you notice anything about this, Brom?
Were they all submarine movies?
They're all submarine movies. He was just crushing these colors.
He was just sitting there asking me. Of course, these are the first things that just popped in my head. Yeah. I thought, oh, okay.
What's Gray Lady Down?
I haven't heard of that. We weren't recording it.
That we just recreated it here.
Yeah.
For all you listeners out there.
Have we done Gray Lady Down? I haven't heard of that one.
I think it's coming up, right?
It is coming up.
Yeah. Oh. It's coming up. So, but I'm doing numbers instead. That was me. Oh. Not cracking my toes.
I thought my dog was walking around.
Nope, just my cracking my toes like a normal, great person doing great things that everyone loves. So numbers in the title for films. So one for the money, starring Katherine Heigl. 2 weeks notice.
How about two for the money with Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, good. What about
for the money?
What about Three Kings?
What about 3 for the money?
There we go. 3 for the money. What about Four Brothers? It's another Wahlberg film right there.
Yes.
What about 5 Easy Pieces for 5? How about that one? Or A Fifth Wave?
What about 5 for the money?
Movie.
Oh, how did you not say 3 Amigos for number 3?
That's a good point. Yeah. Seppuku, right? That's all I gotta do. Seppuku.
Yep.
So what other actors from films with 6 in the title? So I went all the way up to 6. 6 in the title might have been good here. So Big Hero 6, T.J. Miller. Do you know who that is?
Yes, a comedian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who would I voice?
His voice.
Yeah,
his voice.
Zerg, right? Yeah, Zerg for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What about Ridiculous 6, Adam Sandler?
Ridiculous 6.
I feel like he's got to be the captain now or something, right?
Yeah.
He could be Verg too.
Also Verg.
Do his like
Verg
Billy
2.
Billy Madison voice.
The sequel, Verg 2, rated R.
Shampoo is better.
That was a great impression. Transylvania 65000, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
Life Finds a Way.
Jeff Goldblum is for sure Zorndyke.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Great.
Although Jeff Goldblum ever been a bad guy in a film? I think there's got to be at least one.
What about the new Thor? Wasn't he kind of a bad guy? He's kind of like a...
I haven't seen it.
Me neither. I just know it from the trailer. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is getting a little controversial here. What about from Leonard Part 6, one of the worst movies ever made, Bill Cosby?
Who would Bill Cosby be?
I don't want to give him the captainship because he's done terrible things. You don't want to be a captain. You also don't want him to be Zorndyke. I mean, kind of a complicated character. Bill Cosby's not complicated. It's terrible.
Who? Yeah, I don't know who to put him as.
So what about Ed Harris, the Incredible Mr. Sixpack?
Oh, Eddie Hayami.
You think so? I don't know. I feel like he's captain. We didn't get a Hayami in there though.
No, none of those people other than Ed Harris.
I guess
that's why I want him.
I guess as I did a Ridiculous 6, I could always use Taylor Lautner. He's Hayami, right?
I forgot that guy even existed. Yep, he would be Hayami if Ed Harris were captain.
Good. Because they both have great six packs, and probably Taylor Lautner would do like a quick backflip and also do like a kick because he knows karate or whatever.
Does he?
He does. He does it in every movie he does. All right, so Phantom Zone time.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantom's engaged, sir.
I'm going to go a little easy this week. Hachu Atsuka voices a co-navigator on Blue Number 6. He was the one who's kind of hitting on the other navigator a couple times.
Oh, yes.
And he also voiced Inspector Gronsky and Professor Layton in The Eternal Diva, which is something I use.
You already use this?
I use it for Super Red Dragon. So I'm just going to jump into that cycle and get it over with, because you know what? We probably talked, what is it, like been 3 hours or something? Was it 3.5 hours?
I think we've been at it for a while.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut out a bunch of it.
All right. It's time. It's subs. Worldwide. So, with this being our final week of Japanese movie month, now that's not to say we're not going to potentially do another Japanese movie in the future.
Definitely going to.
We've just been doing these for 5 weeks.
We got to do some of the. We got to figure out which Godzilla film it really has like a submarine focus and do that one at some point.
I've got Shin Godzilla upstairs right now.
You can check it out and see if it's got a lot of submarines in it.
I need to. So anyway, I went with the Kaichu type submarine.
Good.
And specifically, I'm just going to, when we get into the specs and all that stuff, I'm going to go with the Type 7. It was the most commonly built class. So this is a World War II era submarine, which is a little foreshadowing of our next cycle.
Spoiler alert.
Yep. So there are many variants, the Type 1 through the Type 7. Out of 45 Kaichus that were built, only one survived Allied anti-sub tactics.
Wow.
And that was the RO-50. So, the length on these things, 264 feet, 1 inch.
They knew how to build them.
Oh, yeah. Power. For the diesel engines, they had 2 Campon MK22 Model 10s. I said Campon, not tampon.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Thanks for clarifying.
No problem. For the surface, while they're running on the surface, they could generate 4,200 horsepower, while submerged, 1,200 horsepower. For speed, when they were surfaced, they could cruise along at 19.8 knots, submerged, 8 knots. This is pretty, I think, decent speeds for World War II submarines. Range, they could cover 5,000 nautical miles while running on the surface, while submerged, 45 nautical miles. Because remember, most of these earlier subs, submerging was more of a way to hide and get away. Because we'll talk about that in the weapons here in a second. Test depth, 260 feet. So,
whoa,
not that deep.
No.
It held 61 people. For the weapons, it had 4 21-inch torpedo tubes.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Test up. Do you think you could, if required to, swim the 260 feet down to get into one of these submarines?
There are world-class free divers who I'm sure could do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I would get the bends and die. I don't think I could even make it that far down before I'd pass out.
You probably get to like 150 feet.
That's being quite generous. So anyways, they've got 4 21-inch torpedo tubes. And online, I thought it was funny, they listed them as TTs.
Ooh.
I like that.
Little TTs.
Yes. So they were all in the front. And they had none in the back. They could hold... That's what that means.
So party in the front, none in the back?
Right.
Okay.
Kind of
just like real TTs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, it could hold 10 torpedoes. On the deck, it had one 76.2 millimeter AA gun and 2 Type 96 25 millimeter AA guns. And the Type 7s had air conditioning.
So
There's not a lot of information I could find on them.
I have another question. So that one that survived, what happened to it?
They eventually used it as a target for target practice and blew it up.
This is just tragic.
Right, you built so many of these things.
Wouldn't it be
45, and you don't even want to save one?
You don't want to preserve one of them for posterity and for like historical purposes, and so that we can travel to Japan and walk around it?
I would think you'd want to.
I'm bringing a tear to my eye.
I know. It's sad.
All right. Brom, it's on a somber note.
Yes, on a somber note, we have Japanese sad facts.
You do not.
I do.
Oh, yes.
Wow. I was like, not even planned.
Oh, shoot.
Nope.
Sorry, be sad.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
somber.
Oh, that
keep
sucks.
Keep it mellow. You know, pour one out for our Japanese friends.
Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Give it to me.
So a few weeks ago, we had Japanese fun facts, and they were really fun. But whenever there's fun, there's also sadness. And now it is time for the Japanese sad. Now that's if I don't want to be like joking about it because there is some sad stuff in here. Number 5. This was you referred to it, and when I did the fun facts, you're like, "What is it? What's your top 5 this week, Brom? The top 5 ways to commit seppuku." Number 5 is no. But it is in regards to Japanese suicide. Japan has the second highest suicide rate among industrialized nations. It is attributed in part to Japan's past history of viewing suicide as honorable. Suicide is the leading cause of death for women aged 15 to 34.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wait, so what's number 1? Yeah. Is that the United States?
It was Lithuania.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. Lithuania's on the map there, but they're number 1.
We'll find out. Move there. Let's figure it out.
Or don't.
What?
Sounds like a real bad idea. But on a positive,
move there, and like 6 months later, you're like, I don't know.
I want to kill myself.
I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling pretty good.
On a positive note, and it's number 4. This is a trending upward here. This is good. On average, Japan experiences only 2 homicides by firearm per year. So
there are only 2 guns in the nation.
In the entire country.
2 homicides per year is what they're averaging.
But
pretty crazy.
How many homicides by samurai sword
Or throwing star?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. You guys get on me for saying offensive shit. Number 3. The rest of them are like fun, sad facts here. Number 3, up until 2015, it was illegal to dance in public after midnight. Japan's war on dance targeted youngsters, DJs, and club owners in an attempt to reduce other crimes, as it was long believed that dance halls and clubs were hotbeds for drug use and prostitution.
This is Operation Footloose, right?
It is.
This is literally the plot of Footloose.
That's crazy.
I guess it was real life
when did
over
that
Japan.
Start? And when did it stop?
Started in World War II with American occupation right after World War II, and lasted up until 2015 is when it finally ended.
Well, think about it. We've been out at many bars past midnight. There's not a lot of good that's happening after that time if you've been at the bar for a while.
Yeah, I can see the merit in it. Again, and they were cracking down on prostitution, which was a real thing there post World War II when Japan was kind of a more impoverished nation. There's a lot of prostitution rings, and by cracking down on the dance clubs, they kind of eradicated it or reduced it. So, but 2015, they're a wealthy nation once again, great nation.
Time to dance.
Time to end the war on dance.
I've never been to a bar because I'm actually only, 16 years old at this point? About to turn 17. So
I know, that's why you love all these Shonen Jump anime.
I love it. I'm like 7.0, baby. Right in my wheelhouse. I just can't wait to drive, really.
Number 2. Japan was home to the oldest continuously operating family business in the world, Kongo Gumi, a temple building company. It had been in operation for 1,400 years.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
Was recently absorbed into a subsidiary company in 2006, technically ending its streak.
Oh, that's too sad.
But opening the door for Mackey's Second Floor Studios.
Here we go, baby.
Just gotta
keep it going.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep it going for 1,500 years.
Yes.
I think we have to get some monetization at some point, or it doesn't really count.
And also, we need to. I mean, I need to keep on advancing science to the point where we can live that long. That should be pretty simple.
It's not that hard nowadays.
No, you keep at it. You keep at it. If you do,
turn,
you might get noticed here with number 1, Jamie. If you keep being a savant in the science industry, in lieu of adopting a young child in wealthy circles, Japan's patriarchal society lends itself to the common practice of adopting full-grown adult men. The adoption ensures that a man will inherit the family business or accrued wealth while still contributing additional financial stability to the family leading up to death.
Do they have to have no living parents? Or do people just adopt someone and say, sorry, parents, I'm done with you. I'm going to go live with my new parents?
I have no idea. I mean, if you're an adult, I don't know how you physically can be adopted. It doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense, but it is just as common as adopting children in Japan as adopting a full-grown adult man.
I do want to understand
Crazy.
the economics of this. So you're saying that, like, if I adopt Kyle, right?
Yes.
He now contributes to my business. Is that right?
You would hire him in your business, and
Right.
your
But
intent
he
would
would
be he
eventually-
contributes to your business, and then you contribute to him. You're going to will your company and your financial wealth to Kyle upon your death.
So it stays, quote unquote, in the family.
Right.
And
sure.
it stays
Sure,
male,
sure.
if you catch my drift.
Oh. So, but if I get to, let's say we get to age 50 or whatever, and we're still bowling our little hearts out, but we have a falling out, right? We're on rival bowling teams now, right? Can I cut him out of that will?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you control your last will and testament, so you can will somebody out, but...
Yeah, it seems like a win-win right now. Like, he's contributing to my company, and then I give him
But you're
nothing.
also paying me.
Sure, as an employee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't give you anything.
You pull the
So
rug
it's
out
just like
from under
working
him.
anywhere else.
Right.
Oh, whatever.
And I
Except you're like
I think I'd
my
recommend against
child.
willing...
And I can go in the carpool lane. You have benefits. Yeah, I drive my car, so I have carpool lane.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Is that the
would-
only benefit you can
wouldn't,
think of?
I don't know. There's probably some other taxes type thing. I got like a child now to take care of, dependent, Kyle. Oh, really, like just a chain around my ball and chain around my neck, kind of anchor.
And I'm really,
Get albatross.
I am really weighing you down.
Don't
I
like it
think
at
it's a
all.
little counterintuitive to adopt somebody that could outlive you, Jamie.
That's true. Since I am 14 years old and Kyle is 76.
That's true.
All right. That is my top 5 Japanese sad facts.
Well, they were sad.
Super sad.
I don't know about adopting old men.
That's kind of funny.
It's funny to
It's a
me.
little less. And then
Could we adopt older people? Like, hey, we really we're like those old people that we see feeding the birds. Can we adopt them?
Well, so I would say we made up for it, even though that was kind of funny and fun. We did make up for it by making kind of insensitive jokes at some other ones, which was just sad.
Yes.
That was sad. It was on theme to make sad and appropriate jokes.
Yeah.
Because this is a sad episode.
It's a sad excuse of an episode.
It's a sad podcast if we just get right down to it.
Thanks for listening to Submersion. Find us on SoundCloud and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Can't get enough of us? Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. And if you like what you heard, please go ahead and give us a rating.